Hey, they were talking about your homie BTK on 2020.
Yes.
Yeah. They had BTK's daughter, of course, the BTK killer, one of the worst serial killers.
He was such a disgusting. You know, I've always had the fascination with him over the years. We all have.
Well, you also had a physical attraction to him, yes?
Dennis Rader I do because his head is kissable.
Yeah. BTK's head is kissable.
But like the more you get into him, the more you read. Like I don't know what happened one day. I just turned the corner and I had my fill of these pieces of shit. Mm-hmm. And like, you know, the idea, the intrigue, ooh, they're so crazy. And like, you just want to see every one of them squashed like an insect.
But this at least is an interesting angle on it.
Sure. Oh yeah, this is his daughter.
2020 had his daughter on. And that's the thing that you never really associate is that, you know, they have these families and they have these lives and they have loved ones and everything. And they're like his daughter had no idea that any of this was going on. As far as she knew, it was just his dad. Young Handsome, you watched this, right?
Yes, sir. Hold on.
You could
talk. You're talking to a camera.
Yeah, he went towards the camera to talk into that.
Fool.
Like it's okay.
Kid's got showbiz in his blood.
Yeah.
No, but you know, finding out her dad, because you know she had discussed this with her father. BTK in Kansas, it was a massive story for decades. So you know she had talked to him about this.
For, right? Is bind torture in Kansas?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they said on the documentary.
Yeah, bind, torture, kiss. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. You can bind and torture, but we still like to rock.
Yeah, I want to hear her talk about when she first found out he was BTK.
Well, I figure we could start with clip one, BTK's daughter talking about the FBI coming to her home and letting her know, hey, you know your dad? Remember that BTK guy? They were actually one and the same.
Wow.
It's been more than a decade since your life, as you knew it, changed forever. What do you remember about that day?
It was a normal day. I had slept in. I was substitute teaching, and I just took the day off.
Did you pause for a second?
Yeah, she slept. Well, she's
slept in.
Yeah, she's dropping the
teacher.
Yeah, she's not. Right, she slept.
But it's one letter. Yeah. Slept.
She's busy.
I get it.
No, you don't. You add letters to things.
Yeah, you do.
Well, no, I just pronounce the letters.
I pronounce the letters properly.
Yeah.
Go on now.
So don't say February wrong.
I don't say February wrong.
February.
I pronounce the R.
Oh,
February.
Right. February. So,
yeah.
All right.
People say February. It's February. Like there's an R in it.
It is February.
Yeah. Sorry, Troy.
So I'm already...
He's an idiot. Go ahead.
Thinking, like, who's this person, you know, in my apartment building? And then he said he was the FBI.
Is there any reason you should even expect the FBI to be at your home?
No.
What does he say exactly?
He asked, do you know who BTK is? I was like, you mean the person that's wanted for murders back in Kansas? And then he says, your dad has been arrested as BTK. And I was like, I think I'm going to pass out.
I was like, no way. And she was like, way.
I can't imagine what that's like. It's a person you know so intimately, so well. And who's the guy you go to for counsel, who's hugged you when you were sad, who gave you away at your wedding. Like,
I mean, literally in that one moment, your entire life just crumbles. Like everything you knew was real
goes away.
Done.
He's the guy on Christmas. You're like, thank you. And he's a dad scruff on Christmas morning, gives you a kiss. Oh, I'm glad you like the bike or whatever the fuck. Holy shit.
Yeah.
But I mean, not only was he a murderer,
right?
Finding out your dad,
right?
Like, you know, Keith the cop called in, Roy DeMeo. He was a mob killer, very bad guy, but he's a mob killer. These guys are not, you know, they're not rapists.
And they generally have like a reasoning, and it's illegal and it's wrong. And yeah,
they murder because that's their job.
It's
and
not
it's
pleasure.
Wrong. It's not pleasure. It's not the same as hanging a little girl and jerking off while she died. Like to know that your father, that's what BTK did. Yeah,
oh, boy.
Yeah. He made
that's illegal.
Made the kids watch the parents be killed. He made, and the father's being choked knowing his kids are watching. I forget how he killed the mother. It might have been strangulation.
I think that's what they said. Yeah.
And then he killed the son, I think, by putting a fucking bag over his head and watching him suffocate. And the little boy.
And they're in Kansas. Like, if anybody's got the details, it's the local Kansas people. Like, this is happening around.
Yeah, they knew.
And that was a family of 7, I believe. So they had 5 kids.
The Oteros, yeah.
Yeah, and then 3 of them came home to find them. That's what...
They were at school. I thought it was 2, but maybe you're right.
To know all those details, And then to get smacked with the information, like, we think your dad probably did it. You're like, what the fuck?
Jerked off looking at a 9-year-old girl hanged to death. Like,
It's crazy.
the fact that this guy is allowed to live, like, I just...
Yeah, you just push him out a window.
You got to be able... There's got to be a way you put him in a room made of metal and just set it on fire.
Right. Right.
I told you, the cartels at times, man, they really do understand how to handle situations.
It's over. The problem's solved. It's over. Don't even worry about it anymore.
You kneel BTK with fucking his head taped, and you have a guy in Spanish before giving that speech into camera, and then you handle it with an axe.
Please stop watching cartel videos. It's
Why?
literally your third or fourth reference to cartel beheadings in one show. It's Thursday. It's Thirsty Thursday.
our
What are we
last
making
day.
all these cartel references for? You're not living a healthy lifestyle.
I might join one.
You're not welcome to join any cartel.
cool.
They wouldn't have you.
A laughter cartel.
I hope it ends the same way.
We deal in fun. What a fucking bad guy, man.
Do you want to move to clip?
It's so bad.
You want to move to clip 3, where she's talking about trying to figure out if her mom's involved?
Yeah.
Because at this point, I would imagine you find out your dad's involved, any sense of reality is gone. You're like, what the? Is my whole family involved? Is my mom
Sure.
involved? Are they working together? Like, what the hell is going on?
Were you worried at that point that your mom was somehow involved in this as well?
No, I never imagined that my mom was involved in anything bad. I was very worried about her and wanted to call her and let her know I was okay, and I wanted to know how my brother was doing. He was stationed in Connecticut with the Navy, and so, like, I wasn't able to talk to my mom or my brother till like 6 or 7 hours after the arrest.
When you first heard her voice on the phone,
Just heartbreaking. Like, you could just hear her break, like, just utter grief and loss.
So the mom had no idea.
Can we hear clip 2 where I thought that she thought her mom was involved. Can we talk about her processing the news? I want to hear what do you do?
What do you do?
Because you picture your dad, and then you picture your dad doing that stuff.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense.
No, she's in this clip with her husband.
Okay.
Her husband's name's Darian?
Yeah.
That's a lady's name.
He's from Connecticut.
Yes.
how do you...
The worst local reference I ever heard in my life.
I'll do another. I guarantee I can give you one worse before the end of the show.
How do you process this earth-shattering news?
You don't. I said, can I call my husband? He needs to come home.
All this stuff is running through my head where I'm like, did somebody get hurt or like, but why would it be the FBI?
Do you think he asked BTK's permission to marry his daughter?
You know, you don't know how traditional they were.
Like, did he call BTK and go, hey, first of all, did he call him BTK or did he call him Mr. Raider?
Probably called him Dad after a certain point. Dad, how you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Good, man. No,
I'm a little tired. I murdered a family.
You did what? No. I was
I just caught
Family
it down.
Ties.
Yeah, Family Ties, sorry.
On TV.
Family Ties.
I say weird, Anyway, what do you got going on? Oh, no, nothing.
I wonder if Dennis Rader ever joked around the house. I wonder if he ever told that joke in the house. Do you hear what the BTK? It's me. What? Oh, come on. Give me a kiss.
Kidding. Get over
Come
here.
on.
Who's carving the turkey?
Got your
Carving-
nose.
Yeah.
Your dad's a nut.
And so when I get home, I remember him saying, have you heard about...
Hey, I'm carving the turkey for Thanksgiving. I'm making you watch me like that guy, huh?
Yeah.
What? No, I'm kidding. It's Thanksgiving, guys.
Hey,
Let's-
come on. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm going to suffocate the turkey. What? No, come on. A joke.
It's a joke. It's
Come on.
Thanksgiving, guys. Loosen up.
What are you, all PC?
Just trying to get it out slowly.
Okay, like the serial killer. We're pretty sure like he's the guy. Like we got the guy.
I was trying to almost alibi my father. I was like, my father's a good guy. He's Boy Scout leader, president of the church. I'm like, you've got the wrong man because you don't believe it's true and you don't want it to be true and you know your father's not the father you know is not capable of any of this.
That's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
That it wasn't that sort of realization like, oh, that really explains a lot of creepy behavior. It's, no, my dad wouldn't do that.
Right.
Rob always says that his dad is very sort of buttoned up and conservative. He could be a serial killer. You don't know. Sheet said the same thing.
That is true.
So,
You're right. I mean, maybe
if there's anything we've learned, it's Rob's dad could be a serial killer.
maybe
You don't know.
BTK likes dad and lad time.
He did.
You don't know is the point.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Okay. But, it would actually help to explain dad and lad time.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Maybe.
A little bit. You want to flash forward all the way to, because I'm really only interested in the daughter stuff.
Yeah, me too.
Do you want to flash forward all the way to clip 11 and Carrie talking about growing up and,
Yep,
and her dad?
Getting violent, yeah.
Yeah.
I was born in 78. He has said himself that he just got busy, like, raising kids and having a family.
And murdering other ones. He was busy raising our family and killing other people down the block.
Yeah, he didn't say raising kids.
Oh, yes. She misheard that.
Yeah, open your ears, Stunny.
Yeah.
Raising kids and having a family.
How would you describe your childhood with your father?
I pretty much had the American dream, you know, like the 3-bedroom ranch with the big backyard and the...
I don't know if a ranch is the American dream.
No,
like, you know,
it's not.
put a couple stories on that sumbitch if it's going to be the American dream.
Yeah, we had a shitty house.
Yeah. Let's be honest. We're not telling the truth here. American dream. How about American attainable reality? Maybe.
Exactly. I'm living the American dream.
Are you?
Really?
Just lonely and naked doing voices in your apartment, worried that the ninjas may rappel down from the roof.
Yeah, when you phrase it like that. Perhaps I'm not.
You do have lots of time to masturbate, though.
Yes.
So that is a
reassess.
positive, yeah.
I reassert.
And then when I was 4, he built a massive tree house for my brother and I.
Gentle, loving, stern?
Kind of a mix. Most of the time he was even kill and kind and...
Even kill?
warm.
She meant to say even keel, but that accent's not good. Maybe that was his name, Bind, Torture, Keel.
Yeah.
Most of the time he was even kill and kind and warm. At times he could be very firm or have flashes of anger or outbursts that you weren't expecting.
You have no idea.
Was he physically abusive ever?
We only saw physical abuse twice. It was a Friday night. My mom had worked all day. She had gone to a lot of work to make manicotti for us, which was like a special meal. I don't know who started an argument, but our family got into an argument. Somebody pounded on at our old rickety kitchen table, and all of a sudden my dad just sprung up out of the chair and lunged for my brother, like facing him front, like his hands around his neck like this.
Like choking him?
Yeah, like trying to strangle my brother. My brother was the color of a white sheet.
Wow.
He was just petrified.
Had you ever seen that side of your dad before?
I had never. So it was extremely out of the characteristic of my father to be physically abusive.
Wow.
I would say that's a little further than just, I'd get angry sometimes, try to choke my brother to death. You know, everybody gets a little angry sometimes.
Wow.
Then she talks about hearing, I mean, I guess you reassess things, right? You put things back into context. When you hear this news about your dad, that's probably when the choking thing that you wrote off because that's the last thing you want to think about your dad. Yeah. Now you reassess things and go, holy shit. For a second, that was him.
That's who
like
he
I
really
saw
is.
the real guy for
That's
a
who he really
second,
is. Yep.
And that was it.
You think he like forgot where he was for a minute? Like,
yeah. He
just
got
couldn't control it.
Yeah.
The lid came off. Like, it's one of those things. He probably had that urge 50 times just to smash his wife in the mouth with his fist.
Yeah.
Or to fucking kick his daughter or to fuck one of the kids. Like, you know, he's just a piece of shit.
He's a garbage person.
But in your home life, you're different.
Right. You want to hear her talking about being a kid and hearing about these killings for the first time?
Yeah,
sort
when she
of
was
like,
6.
Yeah.
Yes. It's number 12, Troy.
Somehow I knew at 6 that her body had been found and that she had been murdered and she had been strangled.
The body was nude and police say badly decomposed. A pair of knotted pantyhose were found lying in the ditch beside it.
How did that affect you?
It scared me. Like, I started having night terrors around that time. I would wake up screaming, sitting up in bed. My mom is always the one that would come comfort. I would say, there's a bad man in my house. And she's like, no, there's no bad man in your house.
He's in my bed.
Yeah, there definitely was. There definitely was.
There's
a bad man
really
in the house.
The man who did those crimes was in the next room.
I mean, quite possibly one of the worst men of all time.
He killed while his wife was like 3 months pregnant. And she's just like, I don't understand how I was even like alive or like near birth. And he's killing people, and it's just, I don't know. It was crazy.
Right. Just the idea that like we're going through this process together of we're about to have this joyous moment and have a baby, and he's going like, oh, let me go grab some milk.
Yeah.
And he goes and kills a family, and he's like, oh, they're out of milk.
Go to 18. I want to hear she finds out about his sexual fantasies.
Yeah, me too.
What did you make of all that?
Horrified.
Oh, actually, hit pause for a second. Maybe go to clip 17
first.
first.
Okay.
Give the old setup ski.
That's right.
There were journals and drawings. He had materials that he collected from each of his victims, clothing, car keys.
He had compartments everywhere. He had false bottoms in a closet. He had stuff in a crawl space. He had stuff in a treehouse he had made for his kids.
He had like secret compartments. So you're saying he had secret compartments
for trophies.
So he made the treehouse for his kids. He built in secret compartments so that he could take little trophies from his murders and whatnot and put them in the treehouse.
Mementos, yes.
Probably just to go up and look at them when he wanted to.
But how do you?
He's a just complete sociopath.
Like when I see something that I gave my kid or belongs to my kid, I associate
not your looks.
What? What?
I said, hopefully not your looks.
Oh, that's really unkind. Why don't you save that for your best friend, CM Punk?
He loves me.
Apparently.
I love him.
He thinks I'm dead.
It's understandable.
Wishes.
I don't think he said that.
Oh,
he didn't say wish. Okay. But like you see something like that and you go like, oh, you attach it to your thoughts about your kid and go like, oh, I love my kid. I love this thing. It's just like a happiness thing. And then to associate it with child murder?
Also, like how the kids didn't stumble upon one of these drawers or anything.
Well, they wouldn't have known what it was, like the keys or whatever.
Yeah, I'm sure it was locked up, right?
Yeah, and you might not. It might not be anything. I don't know. It was just there. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Family ties. Why do you keep saying that?
Here's the hair.
I just like the show. What? What are you talking about, Dad? Don't worry about it. Go to your room.
What's the next clip?
Oh yeah, this is him talking about his sexual fantasies in secret drawers.
He had made for his kids. And also there were Polaroids of himself in his autoerotic activities that the police initially thought were male victims that they didn't know about.
What we would discover is photographs of himself where he would be dressed up as a female.
What?
Sometimes he would have a mask on and a wig, and he would be tied up.
He was dressing himself
Tying himself up?
I think he just liked the pictures of a girl tied up.
And so he would dress himself up as a girl?
My guess is, yeah, because he liked he probably liked what
He wouldn't have made an attractive woman.
No.
Awful. I'm guessing that's why he had the mask on. So he wouldn't see his own mustache.
He's got an ugly face.
Yeah, he's a dummy.
Unattractive man.
What a creep.
Nice mustache.
I'll look at myself tied up and jerk off to it. What a fool.
Fucking, like, just assassinate. Just kill yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you realize, like, if that's what it takes to get you off, you got nothing to contribute to society.
No.
Nothing.
He would take Polaroids with like his toe because he'd be tied up and then want a picture of himself and he'd do it with his toe. Like tie a rope or string around the Polaroid.
Just get a camera with a fucking timer on it,
I know.
you nudnik.
What an ass.
Yeah. What
Get a friend. Hire a hooker.
Yeah. Will you just take this photo of me? I'm BTK. What? Yeah, just take the photo.
In underwear, torturing himself, hanging from trees, taking photographs of himself, half buried with a Polaroid camera that he'd hook up to his foot and pull the trigger.
Half buried. What a creep.
Bury himself and hang himself from trees?
Yeah, we don't need to hear the next one because then she kind of explained. Let me see. What are the next ones?
I like clip 20. If we go all the way to 20, she talks about, she reads a letter that it's so weird because the clip says Carrie reads a letter that BTK wrote her, and it's almost like you don't even associate the fact that that's a letter her dad wrote her because they're one and the same.
Well, also if you want to go to 19,
you like 19?
Well, Carrie talks about because there was a book that came out, Confessions of a Serial Killer, by this woman, and in it said that the mom saw BTK like doing the autoerotic asphyxiation one night. But he just like
pulling the old David Carradine?
Yes.
Allegedly.
Yeah, but he just like pulled it off and was like, oh no, it's just, you know.
All right, let's hear it. Clip 19.
Were there things in Catherine Ramsland's book that angered you?
Yeah, the book was very personally difficult to read.
Rader said that his wife one time came home unexpectedly and witnessed him in her slip hanging himself, or at least
he was in her
preparing
slip
to do so.
Dude, people's sexual demons.
What a fool.
You think he's a foolish man?
What a fucking fool.
People's sexual demons will drive them to the point of madness. It's so weird. It would just cut your balls off. You know what I mean? Just enough. The whole contraption down there, the whole dick and balls system, it's doing you nothing. It's doing nobody nothing but trouble.
I have a weird fetish.
What is it?
I'll dress up like a girl sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I put on a dress and a wig and panties, and then I want to look happy. And I want to look like a happy girl.
So what do you do?
I'll hold a Steven Singer rose.
You fucking shill.
That's what I do. When I want to look like a happy woman, I hold a Steven Singer rose.
He's in the room. Steven Singer's here.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
That. I mean, I was telling the audience.
I didn't see him come in.
So that of course you did.
No, I didn't. That's what I do to be happy.
What do you do?
Put on panties and slip, put on a wig, and I hold a Steven Singer rose.
That's an endorsement like I've never heard. That's exactly what we're looking for.
Oh, thank you. I didn't know you were here.
Do you have the panties?
No, not on. But that's how I look like a happy girl. I pretend it's Valentine's Day and somebody has sent me a Steven Singer rose and I'm a happy girl.
Well, I hope that you try to bury yourself halfway and finish the job.
And then you'd have to put Steven Singer roses on my grave.
I would. I'd be happy.
I prefer them to real flowers because
they last forever.
They would last forever.
They'd last longer than your decomposing body.
They would dig me up in 2,000 years. They go, my God, these are fresh roses.
All right, let's get back to
BTK.
Let's get back to him, Carrie, talking about the book that came out.
He tried to explain it, and he says she went to a counselor and was reassured this is sort of a man thing, and it wasn't necessarily dangerous or terrible, but she wanted him to keep it out of the house, just don't do it in front of me.
So I called my mom. I said, look, he's claiming this thing in this book that's about to come out, and I'm like, did that happen? She's like, no. She said, like, no, like 5 or 6 times. So then it becomes this issue. Who are you going to believe? Are you going to believe the sane, normal woman, which is my mother? Or are you going to believe the narcissistic psychopath that you know lies all the time?
Who do you believe, Robert? I believe BTK. I think that the mom, because the mom has reason to lie.
Yeah.
Like, why would BTK make up that detail?
Right.
The mom doesn't want to admit that she saw any signs of it. And really, there are people, many people, who engage in autoerotic asphyxiation,
yeah, it's fun.
wearing women's slips that are not, well, I don't know if it's fine, but they're not serial killers, right? So
sure.
I think that the mom probably has more reason. Sure. Jim's like, yeah, that's right. Yes. The mom has more reason to lie about it than Dennis Rader does.
Well, it's just like the Brobergs from The Abducted. It's like, why say, oh, I'm gay, just because they're like trying to hide it, you know?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I saw that, Trev. Thanks.
What did he do?
He motioned to mark that.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. Are you going to cut out the why say part?
Yeah, of course.
Fabulous. Okay, let's go to clip 20. This is a letter that Carrie got from her dad, who happens to be the BTK killer.
Early on, when my father wrote me in 2005, he said, like, he's so sorry things got away from him, like cat and mouse caught up with him.
What the hell? I'm so sorry. Things just got away from me. I lost control for a moment. Things got away from me. I killed some families. Like, I got ahead of myself.
I'm sorry I masturbated while that girl was dying. It got away from me.
I got ahead of myself. I apologize.
A little nutty.
But the point is I'm apologizing.
Sorry.
So I'm admitting it was wrong. Okay? Yep. So can we just start from scratch?
Do I look like a happy girl?
You know, I'm going to tell you something. Normally, I would give you a negative response, but as I look at you, you're holding a gold Steven Singer rose. I believe that's the violet one.
Yes. Lavender.
Lovely lavender. You do look like a happy girl. Yes. You really do.
I love Steven Singer.
In fact, I see the way Rob's looking at you. He's looking at you in a way that an employee should not be looking at an employer, because in this moment, you look like a happy girl.
Big beady eyes.
All right, so she said about the letter he wrote her.
Yeah, the letter.
Proud, independent. Hopefully someday your heart will mend and you can forgive me. Life before the arrest was a good time, and the dark side took me away.
Wait.
Life before the arrest was a good time?
Yep. The arrest isn't the problem. The crime happened before the arrest, obviously.
30 years they had a pretty good family. They had a great family.
But what about the other families? It's not that you don't go everything before the arrest was great, because otherwise you wouldn't need to be arrested.
Oh.
Everything before the crime was great. Everything before the arrest was great? Yeah. Life was great before the arrest. Well, obviously, you had a family life, and also you got to jerk off and kill people. Like, that's something you like to do.
Like, over a span of, like, 35 years, too.
But the whole issue that this father and daughter have with not connecting right now is that the dad still thinks that when he could still commit his crimes, that was a real good time. And she's like, what the fuck is going on right now? Life before the arrest was great. That might be the damnedest thing I ever heard in my life.
It's in a letter, too.
He wrote it. Oh, let me cross that out. Scratch that out. Ah, no.
Where's the whiteout?
Officer, you got whiteout. I wrote something really stupid here. This makes no sense. The least endearing thing I've ever heard.
Do you even correspond with him? I mean, people would wonder, like, why wouldn't you just cut him off?
I wasn't corresponding with BTK. I'm never corresponding with BTK. I'm talking to my father. I'm talking to the man that I lived with and loved for 26 years. I still love my dad today.
Because I still love him today.
Because I love
Of course.
the man.
Right.
He's shocked for you, dumb interviewer. Of course.
She just wants her to say it again.
I know.
He wants the quote. She loves it.
Yeah.
Make sure we get something for the commercial.
You know, it's the way it is. Mothers love their son. You love your dad. You don't see him as that. You can't wrap your head around the enormity of it.
He didn't kill your family. He was your family. Like,
Yeah.
Oh.
Sure, Hitler had one guy he went to high school with who thought he was hilarious.
It's a split.
Why don't we ask Travis if he still loves his mom?
Great point.
Travis, your mom is BTK?
Yeah.
Could be.
Better than what I have now. At least I know where she is.
Let me ask
we
you
know
this.
what the K would stand for.
Do you get jealous? Do you get jealous when you hear the relationship that BTK's daughter has with him, just because you look at what a child and a parent can have together?
Yeah. I mean, well, I still have that with my dad.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about parents. Like, let's go take off the gender.
two?
Like, do you sit there and does BTK's daughter have a better relationship with him, knowing that he's the BTK killer, than you do with your mom?
Oh, yeah, she's got it made.
So it's a little...
I don't even know where she is.
Yeah,
right.
She knows where he is every minute of the day.
They do.
And I can't do that.
You
I mean, I could, but I couldn't send
Why isn't she addressing, though, that he was like, before the arrest, everything was great, right? And she's like, yeah, it was great.
Because it was.
But it wasn't.
Well, for her.
She, as far for her consciousness, it was great. But for what was going on outside of the Carrie bubble, it was so not great. It was the worst.
I'm going to do an impression.
Oh, yes. I love your impression. Who's the pretty girl?
Ooh.
Who's the happy girl that just walked in the studio? I thought Jim Norton was here, but all of a sudden, I'm doing a show at Sam and the Happy Girl.
That's right. Why am I a happy girl?
Welcome to Sam and the Happy Girl. Jim Norton is smiling and holding a Stephen Changé lovely lavender rose.
Well, he's a pro. He gets the box in the picture.
He does. He knows. He knows.
He knows.
He's looking at me. I'm just giving him a thumbs up.
That's right. That's all you need to do.
All right. Let's get back to Travis's fantasy. This
relationship with a parent of some
between
sort.
A child and a parent.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And I knew, so, you know, clinically there's criminologists or psychologists that would say your father's a psychopath and he's incapable of...
Criminologists? How about just everyone?
Yeah.
Just like, and I know there's like criminologists and maybe some psychologists and
experts
and also a couple of assholes on the radio. And I guess every person ever would say my father has some problems.
Yeah, he's
maybe.
a psychopath.
Loosely defined.
Here's what she's probably going to say. He's not capable of love or empathy. But she's going to say, no, I'm his daughter. He is capable of love and empathy because he showed it to me. Something to that effect.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know a psychopath. That's not the man I knew and loved. So, like, I have a tendency to want to compartmentalize and disassociate and say,
Compartmentalize?
over here for 26 years.
Oh, why would you? She didn't need to deal with that. Her dad's a BTK killer. She's driving around, turning on the radio, and now she's
not so smart now, are you?
Now she got to deal with Al Pacino calling her the C word. Like, what else does this poor woman have to deal with? Imagine that, Troy. Your dad's the BTK killer. You're like, you know what? I got to escape all this. You turn on the radio, Al Pacino's calling you the C word. I mean, come on. How much worse does it get?
Just adding insult to injury.
That's right.
You know what she said when they said your father's BTK? She said... Go now. Finish this lady's quote.
This man that I adored and loved that could sometimes be gruff and a couple times was abusive, and that's not okay.
Right.
And then over here is this insane, torturous, violent, horrific man. I don't know that man. So if I'm going to get up every morning and live my life, I better come to learn how to get back here.
It's so funny.
When your bank says no, champion says yes.
Are you saying you think Joseph Goriev may have also been the BTK killer?
Yeah.
It's possible. You never know.
Get that rope. I'm going to kill you. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Do you, I mean, it's what you have to do, right? Like, because if you just decide he's the villain that everybody says he is, then that means the guy that you knew all those years is that guy. I think you have to disassociate a little bit, right?
By the way,
by the by,
22 is a good clip.
Dennis Rader told me that he felt sorry for the victims. Well, no one believes that. The families certainly don't believe that. Police department doesn't.
What a voice on this guy.
Doesn't believe it. It was just him trying to be human.
It was more like he was sorry that he got captured.
Oop.
Or it's more like he's really sorry that he's in prison, then he's cold and he doesn't have my mom's cooking. Honestly, I don't ever really have saw it where he said he's sorry for murdering 10 people.
Yeah. I would say the evidence that he's not sorry that he killed all those people would be that in his letter he said life was great before the arrest. That would be evidence that what he's sorry about is that he's in jail.
Yeah.
Not that he did all that shit. All right, let's end with clip 27. Carrie talks about, or do we need 26 to go with 27, Rob? What are we thinking?
No.
27's fine?
Yeah, 27 is good. This is where she's depressed.
Okay.
She's in pain.
Right.
Her father's the BTK killer.
Yes.
And she said that she was afraid she would never smile again.
And then what happened?
She found a way to smile.
How the hell do you smile after that?
Somebody handed her a Steven Singer rose. And she began to smile again.
Wow.
And she said, this is not only a rose, it is a rose that shows me my partner loves me and it will last forever.
Jimmy, you're slipping into a live read. We're talking about BTK's daughter.
But I'm saying that's what made her feel better.
Oh.
And they said, but there's only one color. She said, there's not one color.
Right.
There's many colors. There's lavender. There's Valentine's red. There's a blue of some sort, I imagine.
Did she tell the interviewer that even though she's BTK's daughter, she's aware that she knew she had to order quickly because these colors sell out every year?
That was why she was crying, because she waited too long.
Oh, no. Did she miss some of the exclusive colors?
She certainly did. And then someone said, why would you want a fake rose? And she said, you stupid piece of shit. It's a real gold dip rose. And they said, you're really taking this anger about your father and you're putting it on me for not knowing what the Steven Singer rose is.
Right. And people said to her, they were like, well, don't you want to write back your father who's in jail? He wrote you this letter. Don't you want to write him back? And she goes, yeah, stupid. Every rose comes with your own personalized love note that you can write to BTK.
Absolutely. I'm sending one to my father, a gold-dipped rose.
Right.
To last forever.
It's going to last even longer than he does. And he's BTK.
It's going to sit in his cell and he's going to want to smell it every morning and he's not going to be able to.
No, he's not.
It's a real gold-dipped rose.
Exactly.
That brought her back to life.
Eventually, he'll probably try to shove it in his urethra or something like that. He's a sick man.
Yeah,
he's a sick man.
That's right. He's going to look at it while he tries to hang himself before he comes.
That's right. And I wouldn't advocate that anybody try to put a Steven Singer rose in your urethra.
Oh, I would.
You would.
I back it.
You do.
I back it.
Okay.
Open up your piss hole and put a rose in there and show that pig you're married to that you love her.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. Here's the thing about dipping a rose in gold. Removes the thorns. It's a lot safer to put a gold dipped rose in your urethra than a real rose.
Absolutely. If you want to show a woman you love her, the rose is beautiful. Sure, it lasts forever. Right. Put it in your urethra. And when she walks in, you're on the sofa with your fucking legs spread. And you go, huh?
Yeah.
Save money on a vase.
This is what you do. You put a Steven Singer gold dip rose, you tuck it in your urethra, you sit on the couch with your legs spread, and you go like this, Happy Valentine's Day, who wants to water the flower?
And she'll say, but what about the vase? And you'll say, there it is, and on the table is the vase, and you've taken a shit in it. So you have the rose in your urethra and a shit-filled vase on the table.
That's actually a story the mom has about the BTK killer. I had no idea anything was wrong. Valentine's Day would always go so well. He'd give me one of these Steven Singer gold dip roses that he would present in his urethra. He'd give me a shit-filled flower vase. He was really a great husband.
I didn't know anything was wrong. Everything was perfectly normal.
And then Carrie comes in and she goes, well, Dad would always make me wash the shit out of his vases.
And then there was that one time at the table where someone dropped the roast beef and Dad strangled him and said, I wish I could jerk off while you were hanging. And we said, Dad, what? He said, nothing. And slipped.
Nothing. Now give me one of those roses. I need to shove it in my urethra.
So is that the end of the clips?
No, she talks about why she still talks to her dad.
Oh, I thought we played it. Okay.
Clip 27.
He's my dad.
You write to him now.
I do, because in 2012, I was able to forgive my father.
Oh,
How do
good.
you forgive him for what he did?
I'm sure the families that he did this to are all happy that his daughter has forgiven him.
She's forgiving him for being a monster who's her father. She's in a tough spot.
She's forgiving him because it's easier for her, and that's not a shot at her. That's
of
like
course.
reality. We'd all have to do that.
She's forgiven him for the lying, for being a monster, for pretending to be this loving father, but being this piece of shit.
You know, if you're out there killing families, jerking off to dead kids, and you want your daughter to forgive you, one of the best things you can do is give her a Steven Singer gold-dipped rose.
It's a real gold-dipped rose.
It's a real rose, and it'll last forever. A lot of these roses, like, there are families that you'll try to say, please forgive me, you know, if you whatever, you killed kids, let's say, and maybe jerked off to their bodies. You'll say, please forgive me, here's a dozen red roses. The roses die,
They
and
die.
it reminds your daughter
Absolutely.
of the dead kids.
What a monster you really are.
Right, but the Steven Singer gold-dipped roses, they will last forever, which will make it so that your daughter will forget that you killed all those kids and jerked off to their bodies.
Yes, it will make her forget what a monster you are.
Yes.
And so if it works in their life,
yes,
a gold-dipped Steven Singer rose will work in yours because you've done nothing that bad. You're just a shitty spouse.
Exactly.
You're a little disinterested when your wife talks.
Exactly.
Sometimes you don't come home. Your wife says, hey, could you come home? I'd love a hug. And you're like, I'm going to go watch the game with the guys. And she says, oh, for Pete's sake. And you don't know it, but she's fucking someone behind your back.
She is.
But give her a gold-dipped rose, you cuck.
Right. Right.
They're beautiful. They last forever.
Right.
We get them every year. I always find someone to give them to.
What are you going to say, Rob?
No, BTK called his family social contacts in his mitigation statement.
He said, I need some Steven Singer gold-dipped roses for my social contacts.
social contacts, yeah.
Yeah, I get it. He put that in the personalized love note.
And he also sent all of the cops who caught him a Steven Singer rose.
Yeah, but those all had the urethra stains on them.
Yeah, those were not. Those were ironic, Rob.
Yeah.
Please don't mention that during the fucking
Don't bring that
Stevens
up.
here.
It's bad for promotion.
It's bad for Steven.
Yeah.
He doesn't want that.
He doesn't want his roses associated with stuff like that, Rob.
I was going to tell you something. There's the beauty of Steven. Any advertising is good advertising. If there was someone cutting off the feet of people in Philadelphia and leaving roses on, he would somehow find a way to sponsor it.
Oh, yeah, foot-dipped roses.
All right. Let's see why she talks to her dad.
Took lives. He ruined your life. How do you forgive that?
It was a very long journey. There was a lot of hard work in me with faith. I had gone back to church. I was working on my relationship with God, working on my own heart.
And how did you feel finally letting that go?
Oh, it's just a massive release. I realized I was rotting within. I didn't just forgive my father for him. I had to do it for myself.
Of course.
I hope to see him in heaven someday because he could be forgiven for his sins too.
That's hard. He's fucking, it's a daughter. You know, with the family, all bets are off. Whatever you say, you say.
Totally.
It's your dad.
But if we're speaking on a logical base, if you actually believe in heaven and hell, and then you say, I think BTK could probably go to heaven.
Yeah.
Isn't that the moment where you go, okay, this is probably fairy tales. This is probably all make-believe.
Yeah, you're like, hi.
Exactly.
That's what he said when she walked into jail and saw him.
That's exactly right. She looked at him and she was all like, right. Right.
Daddy has to make.
And then they went like this. Do you have any regrets about killing all those children and jerking off and everything? And BTK was all like, regrets? It's like, okay, that was cute, but we don't need that right now. It's distasteful.
Daddy has to wee real quick.
Okay, well, here's what we could do.
We have Steven Singer here.
We can take a break and you can go pee, or we can shove a gold dip rose in your urethra so you don't pee, and we can keep going.
Why can't we do this? Why can't I pee and then we put the rose in my urethra?
Oh. So we do both, actually. Let's meet somewhere in the middle. Let's compromise, which is what this government should have done.
Absolutely. Yeah. Damn libs.
All right, we'll take a break.
I hate Steven Singer.
Yeah, we'll get an update from
.com.
The life of Steven Singer and how these roses are doing. And, here's the thing that's great about Steven Singer. When he comes in here and he gets on the air, he loves giving shit away.
Yes, he does.
So it's going to be
Are
good
you going to give stuff away? Nope, he's not.
He says absolutely not. Here's the problem. Dennis Rader, he bought him out of gold dip roses. Yeah, it's not enough to go around this year. He's got a lot of apologizing.
Well, I have a rose here.
I do too. I might give mine away.
Maybe I'll give it away to the girl, whoever becomes my Valentine's Day date. Will get my Steven Singer rose.
We should talk to Steven about that. Maybe he's got some advice on what you can give her. That's happening next week. We're going to find a Valentine's for Jimmy.
Yep. I have a good idea too.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna pretend my penis is broken, and I'm gonna make like a splint out of 2 Steven Singer roses.
That's so smart.
Beautiful.
That's so smart.
This way you get the plug in, and I get my penis out.
That's right.
It'll actually be hard.
That's a really... Yep.
No, it won't. The part that's taped up will be good, and the head will be drooping under the roses. It'll be fucking horrible.
We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.